Yo, what is going on, guys? Pothead here. Thank you so much for the love on that David Dobrik video I did yesterday. I really appreciate the kind words and everything, and I'm gonna definitely try and variate my content a little bit. But because you guys held me down so much, I got a little Oxy 80 Shoreline Mafia story for you today. Yes, you can hold the applause. I know. Before we get into that, follow me on Instagram at Pothead. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe, like, turn on notifications, all that influencer shit. So we're just gonna get right into this. So this is my first time doing an OC80, not the OP80, the OC. So I'm with my homies, and Shoreline was coming in, so we was getting ready. Willie was getting film and shit, and Cinto and I were working on getting drugs. I was tasked with the Oxy and Zans and drank, while Cinto got the acid and Molly. I went to my homie John's house, who unfortunately passed away, but he used to have a Xan and Oxy script. And I had spent some bands with him this time. And since I spent so much, he came into my whip with my order and was like, since you're getting so much, here's an OC80, not an OC. And the difference is the OP is made out of gel, and it's pretty much impossible to snort and break down. Whereas the OC, you can lick the coating off, and that bitch is good to go. And he gave it to me on the house. So at that time, I didn't even know those existed because they were, before my time. And he said to lick the coating off and either eat it in pieces or snort it in pieces. Do not do the whole thing at once. And he was an experienced user, so I heeded the info. With the drugs in hand, I drove back to my house to meet my homies, and we would all take one car down to the venue, which was about an hour and a half away. So we eat and chill for a couple of hours, and about 7 p.m. we get a text from our homie who was DJing the tour, and he said to slide down to the Springs and sent us the hotel address. So we start the drive, and Cinto and I each put a 20 milligram Roxy at K57 to be exact into a soda and drank it fast as fuck. This was my first time doing a 20 Instagram instant release as well, and it was smacking. We were up and laughing, but as soon as we finished our cups, we nodded out for the rest of the drive, leaving Willie to be all alone for about an hour. And we finally wake up about 5 minutes away from our destination, and Willie is on the phone. Our friends said OGZ and Phoenix were out at Target and needed a ride. So we were like, bet, went to Target, and we did not see them in the lot. We waited for like 20 minutes, and we were like, fuck it, I guess they went to the hotel already. So we drive out of the parking lot, and we literally see them crossing the street from Buffalo Wild Wings. So we pull over in the road and try and fit like 5 extra people into this car, and it was not going to work. So we just got OGZ and Phoenix and drove them to the hotel while Cinto and the other homies walked. And we get to the hotel, and it's like a Marriott in the middle of nowhere. I'm talking about like it was dark out, so you couldn't see shit. It literally looked like it was just this Marriott and then freeways. It was ghosty. But yeah. But it was next to a movie theater, and this was around the time that Endgame had come out and was playing, and none of us had seen it yet. So Jeezy was like, I want to go see Endgame, and me and Cinto are down as fuck. But Willie wants to stay with our DJ homie while we go see the movie. I'm like, okay, cool. Jeezy says we should just go to Buffalo Wild Wings first, though, and I was like, didn't you just go, bro? And he's like, nah, we were just looking at it. I was like, okay. So we go eat Buffalo Wild Wings. And while we're waiting for the food, because we got like so many people here, we're taking up like 4 booths because we had the whole tour crew with us and us 3. So Cinto, Willie, and I were at a booth by ourselves, and our 2 homies we knew from the tour came up and asked to buy some Roxys from us. I was down, but all I had left after, I'd met up with Phoenix and OGZ and all the homies was 2 20s and the 80. So I was like, I got these, and they're like, we'll buy the 20s. And I was like, all right. And they buy the 20s, which on the outside I was cool with, but on the inside I was tight mad because I knew I was going to have to do this 80 now. And it was scary to me back then because a quarter of a 30 was getting me sky high around this time. So we finish eating and we start walking up to the movie theater. Bear in mind, it's already like 1 a.m. So Willie says he's going to go chill with the DJ and they're going to go sleep while me, Cinto, Phoenix, and OGZ, and their tour manager go to see Endgame. And Mac P-Dog, R.I.P. to my boy, and Drum went to see John Wick 3. So we're watching Endgame and I tap Cinto and I'm like, should we try this 80? And he looks at me and smiles and just nods. And I'm like, okay. So my method of doing this stealthily in the dark-ass theater was just to bite off little chunks of the pill. And I couldn't really see how much I was doing. So the first time, played it really cautious. And I gave it to Cinto. He bit off a little bit. kind of passing it around like it was a big ass cookie. And he bites it, and then I take another bite. And I knew this one was bigger, but I didn't. It's still like it's a big pill, but it's a small pill, so can't really tell how much I'm taking in the dark. So I pass it back, and then after like 10 minutes, I'm like, yo, can I get that back? And he's like, what do you mean? We finished it. And I was like, what? You telling me we just did 40 milligrams of extended release oxy? And he was just laughing and smiling. And I was low-key panicking at this point. But in the dark, watching the movies, I didn't really feel that much. But as soon as I went out to the bathroom, it hit me like a brick. I'm gonna try and find the selfie I took so you guys can see it, but I walked back into the theater and Cinto was just nodded off. Jeezy and Phoenix are just laughing at us because we're so high. And we finished the movie. It felt like 5 minutes, but it was, I think, a 3-hour-long movie. And so we get out of the theater, and I'm like having to shake Cinto awake to get him to walk out. And they're like, what the fuck did y'all take? Just like laughing so hard, just like calling us little faded bitches and shit. And MacP and Joe meet us in the lobby, and they're like, yo, y'all look so faded. Cinto and I are just so high. And at this point, I'm just laughing with them because it's like 4 a.m. and I'm just so off this shit. It's ridiculous. So we start to walk back to the hotel, and it's cold as fuck out. I'm talking about like everyone had jackets and long pants on, but I'm so high. I'm so warm. I just take my hoodie off, and I'm walking in a short sleeve, and Cinto does the same. And they look at us like we're crazy, bro. And it was absurd. So we get back in the hotel, pour some drink, all that. And by the time the sun starts to come up, they're like, yo, we should probably go to bed. We got a show tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you think? And they're like, yeah. So I end up getting us a hotel room in this Marriott because I wanted to go see the show the next day and shit and all that. So we go up to the hotel room, and remember, Willie was sleeping with the DJ. Whoa, pause. And this, I don't know what went on. I wasn't there, but, So Cinto and I go up to this room, 2 beds. And we're both just so high, and this was around the time when I would get high as fuck off oxy, and it would make me stay up. So the sun was coming up. Cinto and I are like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Because I do not feel like I want to sleep. And it's like, probably 6:30 a.m. at this point, 5:30 around there. And we're like, Xanax. That's the only thing that can save us. So we both just take a big ass bar to the face, and at this point I still don't really do Xanax like that at all, so it hit me like that. I mean, I'm talking about like 10 minutes. I fell asleep with my glasses on, all my clothes, everything, shoes on, fell asleep. Cinto did the same, and we wake up to Willie slamming our door, like bashing it down type shit. And I look at my phone, and it's 1 p.m., bro. And he's like, yo, we gotta go, yo. And I was like, how did you know a room we stayed in? He's like, I had to go down and check with the fucking hotel manager. And I was like, that's crazy. So, yeah, that was my first time doing an OC80. Hope you guys enjoyed this story. Like, comment, and sub. And if you guys want the next part of this story, which is the next day, the show day and everything, kind of more shoreline-y stuff, I'm gonna need some good results on this video, my guys, so get me there and I'll get you there. Peace.